When I googled Saint Ursanne while going there on a train, because this is apparently where I'm doing my research, there was only one article from Wikipedia that also could not offer much information. So stepping out of the train, I thought I might be making a mistake and this trip will be borderline boring. I have seen a little bit of the village from the window, and it's beautiful. Now I have to figure out how to get there. And this is what the road looked like. It didn't feel safe to walk there, but I also didn't want to spend on a bus because I'm trying to save here, right? So I've met a group of young gentlemen who were kind enough to tell me that it is safe for me to walk down this road. But I must tell you, it doesn't feel safe. There is no sidewalk. It's just a road. But honestly, after walking there for a couple of minutes, I realized that it's actually not that bad. Pretty safe, pretty chilled. Actually, you can walk from the train station to the city and it takes like 15 minutes. The buses are not even such a frequent thing here. And the views that you get to see while walking are astonishing. When I approached the town, it was still very early, so there were barely any people or any cars. It felt kind of empty. I also worried if they even have any supermarkets, because I'm saving and I was planning on having something from Coop or Aldi, but it seemed like there was absolutely nothing, so I started to worry whether I would have to spend more than I wanted to. But anyways, as soon as I entered the town, I found this cute cafeteria called Auberge de Jura. Yes, this is my French accent. And as soon as I sat down, I was able to see that there was actually Coop and a fountain, which I also thought that might be a problem here, but no. So I got to enjoy my morning coffee in peace. And after the coffee, naturally, it was time for drinking water. This fountain was founded in the 17th century, well, to be precise, closer to the end of the 17th century, but that didn't change the fact that I really wanted to touch this piece of history. While enjoying my walk in the town, I had found this door, and it looks like a regular medieval kind of a door of a church, but there was something that was calling for me, and at that moment I couldn't tell what that was. But very soon I had found another door, and that one just had blown my mind away. Just look how old it is and how many details there are. After taking a couple of selfies in front of that door, it was obviously too hot for me to stay under the sun any longer, so I had to find some shade, and actually it was already the lunch hour. Before I found this bench, I really wanted to go to the toilet. I needed that. And I was sure that I would have to ask a restaurant for this service, but apparently they have a public restroom here, and it's the only one, obviously, because the village is so small, you don't need more, but it's absolutely free and it's very clean. Also, there are cages where I assume you can leave your stuff for free. Get your key and just enjoy the village without the necessity of carrying your bags with you. I think this is really cool. I love Switzerland.
You can take me high.
After a couple of hours of a laid-back lunch, walking barefoot on the grass, hugging the trees, and just simply admiring the town and everything around it, I felt like going for a walk and explore more. The highlight of that walk was obviously the viaduct, which was a long dream of mine to see from a side, and there it was. It felt like I was in a Harry Potter movie, and to be fair, it was not the only time that I felt this way that day, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. After enjoying the walk around the area, I came back to the town, and honestly, it was time for me to use one of those storage cages because my back was killing me and I just simply needed to leave my backpack behind for a couple of hours. The most hard part about traveling in Switzerland is not trying to fit into budget, but it's to keep up with the languages that they speak in different areas, because in some areas they speak German, in some, like here, they speak French, and in some they speak Italian. I already speak 4 languages. On top of that, I'm learning German. I go to school 3 times a week and I practice it every single day. At school, when I'm out, with whomever I can encounter who might speak German, I try to practice my German. But it's so important to remember while you're traveling to other areas when they speak Italian or French, to remember they do not speak German there. Just now I had to change 2 francs from 2 coins into 1 coin because I needed to use this little buddy. I went to a bookstore and I asked for 2 Franken. I said danke instead of merci. I spoke German 4 times. This is embarrassing. I'm going to pee. And by the way, this is that bookstore where I was able to break my coins. Thank you, kind lady. Something just happened as I was filming the previous monologue in the toilet room. Someone was watching me or listening to me behind the door, outside. Is someone trying to enter? And I saw this someone, and I knew exactly who that was, but I'm not sure if they were listening. But that's not the point. The point is that very soon after I finished my monologue, everything is trying to shut me up. Why? I'll tell you why. It's because right after I stopped trying to shoot that scene, that same person came to my table and we had a lovely chat. His name is David, and David is an artist residing here in Saint Ursanne. And by the way, the signboard above the bookstore is one of his works. So what I was trying to tell is that once I left the restroom, David met me outside and gave me an apple, which felt a bit weird because we still didn't know each other at that moment. That's pretty all I wanted to tell about that encounter. And right after it, it was perfect time to finally take some shots of the location in the town that had inspired me to come and see it for myself in the first place. And it's the bridge that was already there in the midst of the 15th century. And then it was time to come back inside the town and find a nice place to have dinner, but something happened. Do you remember that door that I had found in the beginning of my day in Saint Ursanne? Well, now it was open, and it felt welcoming, and I decided to enter. I'm in Hogwarts. And if you don't know me, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I was growing up with these books. I was binging every single thing about Harry Potter. Of course, all the movies. I was waiting for them. So finding a place that resembles this world felt so magical. I almost cried as I was walking around this cloister. I understand that places like these inspired the image of Hogwarts, but I was growing up with Harry Potter, so my little childish brain has its own sequence. So instead of seeing church in a Hogwarts, I see Hogwarts in churches. I just literally felt as if I have some free time after my classes in Hogwarts. The dinner is soon, and soon we'll all have to go to our dorms. For a moment it felt so fucking real. This moment is like a gift that I didn't expect. It's so fucking unreal that I'm here. It's so unreal to live through all of these magical moments that I am so blessed to receive living here in Switzerland. Knowing what's happening back home, it creates such a huge gap, emotional gap within. It's like you're always on the edge of ecstasy and a complete despair. Moments like this that raise the excitement polarity, they just create even bigger gap and make me feel like cry. But I'm really happy and I'm really grateful, and yeah, I'm gonna have, I want to keep shooting, but I also know that I want to have just a couple of moments, okay, maybe 10 to 15 moments. I hope I can have them just to stay here alone without camera. This is super unreal. I really don't want to go. I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I'm doing that right now. Look at me. I'm doing that. I'm leaving. I have to go. I have to go. In the evening, this town felt as empty as early in the morning, but this time it didn't feel estranged. Now every corner, every spot kept a small story. I didn't want to leave. I was scared in the beginning that I was going to be bored, but that day spent in Saint Ursanne felt like a week, and it felt like I could spend there a whole life. But it was time to go home, even though leaving the town was emptying my heart. The farther I was getting from the town, the saddest I became. But as I was sitting at the train station thinking of all the experiences and all the people that I met, like the waitress that brought me coffee in the morning, or the lady that helped me to break my coins, or the artist David, that offered me an apple and a nice conversation. All of that made me feel like I might be leaving, but Saint Ursanne is staying here to be discovered times and times again.